as he gets set for racing. Colin Ming, Al Brown in 80. Michael Ruiz out of Curacao in Kart 11. Stanley Ming from Guyana in Kart 5. And in 151, it's Justin Halsemer. Often racing. And Paul Williams having a good day so far. A first and a second place finish for him. And he's the early race leader, followed through by kart number 27, the familiar kart number 27 of Tony Chin. As they head towards turn number 11. And in front, that's Paul Williams. Tony Chin trying to go to on the outside. And Ricky Fong Yi. Kevin Minot is also there too. And making a move on the outside, that seems to be Tony Chen. Paul Williams, Ricky Fong Yi, Tony Chen, Kevin Minot, Tony Chen, Mark Evans, Chad Phillips. And that's your first 7 places as they rush past the red stripe billboard, heading towards turn number 10. It's young Paul Williams in front, but only just so. Being pressed by Ricky Fong Yi. Paul Chen is also there too. Into the straightaway. Ricky Fong Yi tries to move on the outside, but Paul Williams is hanging tough. Paul Williams. Williams with that high rev engineering working card. Paul Williams, high rev engineering, doing very well this afternoon. Ricky Fong Yi. Kevin Minot is right there in close touch too, but on with Tony Chin, followed through by Mark Evans, Tony Chen. Chad Phillips also doing pretty well too as they come into the straightaway. It's Paul Williams from Ricky Fong Yi and Kevin Minot. Tony Chin is also there too. Paul Williams, Ricky Fong Yi, Tony Chin, Kevin Minot, Tony Chen, and Mark Evans. Exciting racing here as they come, well, a spin there at turn number 10. We'll pick up that driver for you shortly as they come into the straightaway. The high rev engine of Paul Williams in kart number 2. Ricky Fong Yi, Kevin Minot trying to go through on the inside as they come out of turn number 2. It's Paul Williams, Ricky Fong Yi, Tony Chin, Kevin Minot, Mark Evans. And our Bob Varga in kart number 50 is currently running in 6th position and trying to get back to the front runners just now. But in front and looking very confident in kart number 2. Paul Williams, Ricky Fong Yi, Tony Chin, Kevin Minot trying to move on the outside. Mark Evans is there too. Chad Phillips trying to catch up as they come out of this extended turn number 2. Paul Williams, Ricky Fong Yi, Tony Chin, Kevin Minot, Mark Evans. Chad Phillips trying to catch up too. And, well, bumping off, that's our visitor. And in kart number 39 of Victor Peters. And let's see, he's got back into the race, but trying to keep up with the pace too much that time. And Victor Peters spinning away as they came out of the sweep. Still in front, that's Paul Williams. Trying to go to Kevin Minot, trying to get by Tony Chin on the inside as they come out of turn number 1. Still in front, Paul Williams, and there's a spin. And involved in that spin is a kart number 77, Ricky Fong Yi and Tony Chin. Well, that might be deemed dangerous driving by Tony Chin in kart number 27, re-entering the course, and he didn't look as they come out of the S's. Well, Paul Williams highlighting the action so far today, a win in the second place, and he continues to do well in front. In that high-rev engineering car, Paul Williams from Kevin Minot and Mark Evans. Bob Varga from the United States trying to catch up, and there's Chad Phillips in that digital audio cart, number 69. In front, Paul Williams. He's rushing out of the SO Super Oil turn, heading towards the S's. All alone, Paul Williams. Kevin Minot trying to catch up. Mark Evans in cart number 38 is trying to catch up too, as they go by the red stripe billboard, past the 7-Up billboard, and quickly past the Pepsi billboard, and in front, out of the final turn, in cart number 2, Paul Williams, Kevin Minot, Mark Evans, Bob Barker, Chad Phillips. No challenge at the moment, as Paul Williams is getting further and further away, but Kevin Minot is trying to creep up. So Kevin Minot with some work to do and running out of time as they're into the latter laps of this race. Paul Williams from Kevin Minot. In cart 28, Mark Evans, Bob Varga. In 69, Chad Phillips. And behind them, in 92, Craig Lou. Well, this youngster is driving very, very well. Paul Williams rushing out of the sweep. Kevin Minot, Mark Evans, Bob Varga, Chad Phillips driving very well in the digital audio card. As they rush by the D&G soft drink billboard. Into the straightaway. Paul Williams in cart number 2. Paul Williams is taking the white flag. 1 lap to go. Kevin Minot trying to catch up. Mark Evans, Bob Varga, Chad Phillips trying to take fourth spot as they all take the white flag. 1 lap to go. Paul Williams in front and driving very well. Kevin Minot, Mark Evans, Chad Phillips, they're running forward. Bob Varga and Andrew Liu in cart 92. 1 lap to go, 1 lap to go. Kevin Minot is trying to catch up. He might not have enough time as Paul Williams looks for his second win this afternoon in the light Yamaha class event. Into the straightaway, the high rev engineering work, Paul Williams. And Kevin Minot gets second spot. Mark Evans is third. Well driven by Chad Phillips for fourth. Bob Varga of the United States is fifth. And coming in sixth in cart number 92, that's Craig Lou. Paul Williams in the High Rev Engineering sponsored cart. Well driven, Paul Williams. Customary lap of honor, ladies and gentlemen. In cart number 2, Paul Williams coming out on top, and this youngster can sure drive. Paul Williams chalking up his second win of the afternoon at a second place. He should be feeling very confident at this stage of the meet. 5 races complete, and they've all been very, very exciting. So Paul Williams ahead of Kevin Minot and Mark Evans finishing third. Chad Phillips coming in fourth.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have Abe Ziadie and Michael Lee on the front grid as they come down to the first corner. And we see Mark Zaterian trying to make that first corner move as he did in the first race, but unable to make up any ground, but maintaining his fourth position. David Tobin Jr. in the back. Everett Lee second to last. Third last is Mike Simmons. Roger Suknarayan Singh in fifth. Mark Zaterian in fourth. Third place is number 35, Doug Donald, and the front 2 runners is very popular today as the team Pepsi and Esso. It's Abe Ziadie followed by Michael Lee as they open a quick gap, and we'll see how well Mark Zaterian's car run at the end of the straight as he blows straight past Doug Donald for an inside take. So Mark Veteran taking up third place. We'll see how well he can gain ground on Michael Lee and Abe Ziadie as they come through the chicane and down to the left-hand hairpin. Right by the oceans, they make a left hairpin, and Michael Lee putting his bumper close against Abe Ziadie, trying to make the best of it. Will he be able to get by earlier in this race? But those cars seem very evenly matched. Those drivers seem fairly even also. We'll see how well Mark Veteran can use the top end of his cart, as he proved earlier to be far superior to cars today, as he gains ground at the end of the straightaway. But those guys able to hold him off and, you know, open the gap a little bit in the earlier part of the running. Abe Ziadie driving as he did earlier in the first two races, very consistent, very fast, smooth through the corners and accelerating fast. Mark Veteran accelerating as he has to press a little harder, trying to catch those guys. It's not as easy to lead as it is to follow, as you can make a better judgment of the track ahead of you as the speed you're going at from the carts in front of you. Mark Veteran lifts up his hand, having a problem there as Doug Donald goes by. Not good for Mark Veteran as he keeps his hand up and tries to solve his car. He comes around, he waves everybody around him on the outside as he stays at a pretty dangerous spot. Through the chicane we have David Thornwell Jr. and Mike Simmons. He goes back on two wheels again as he drives over the curb. Into the right-hand line here, a little bend to the right, and then a right-hand hairpin. We have Michael Lee holding off the best of Abe Ziadie through into the G-force corner and down the back straight. It seems like Abe Ziadie had made a little best up there, and Michael Lee was able to open two lengths and keep it at that distance. As they come and Michael Lee edging, you see that a little jerk he makes out of his cart, that's the lifts his weight off the rear, you know, try to get the cart to that little oomph forward. When a cart almost weighs the same weight as the person, it's very easy to make your weight affect the cart. As Abe Ziadie not able to close the gap yet, but the race is young still, as I said. Doug Donald maintaining a steady pace and keeping his eye on the leader, the front running. Oops. We have number 97 of Mike Simmons as he's unable to hold that curve. Getting up on two wheels this time and unable to carry it straight. Pulls the cart off the side as he went jumping over the curve. Thinks this is a motocrosser, does he? Fifth place of Roger Suknarine as he comes through the bottom right hairpin and up towards through the S's and down towards the G-force corner. What lap are we? What lap are we on? As they come to the end of the 7th lap, there's 3 more laps to go. Abe Ziadie looking for another first place. He's got a first and a third. And let's see if he can make it a second or a first this time. It seems to be a personal matter between Abe Ziadie and Michael Lee. They're both teammates. They've both been karting here for many years. Abe Ziadie, our karting club president, and Michael Lee has been around for many years, very experienced driver. Abe Ziadie closing up a little gap there. We'll see some more pressuring coming up to see. A little more on the carts. You have to remember that these carts, they have no suspension, no shocks, no springs. They're suspensions in the flexibility of the chassis. Michael Lee there coming onto the front straightaway, getting a little wide, putting two wheels off on the rough, but able to hold the car straight and level. These guys, as you see them go through the corners, go from extreme outside to the curb and back to extreme outside. That's taking the corner as straight as possible, making this track as straight as possible. As some of the drivers not having a very good day today, but we'll see how well they can pick up the slack tomorrow.